All right, what's good? What's good, man? Let's get into it. Let's talk about the Buffalo Bills. Now, I said this video might come out today, and it is. So everybody knows, unless you've been living under a rock, Stefondiggs is a Houston Texan now. He's been traded to the Houston Texans for a second-round pick. And I believe the Bills gave up some draft capital and Stefondiggs to the Houston Texans. Now, this is very interesting. Obviously, if you want to know my thoughts on the Texans point of view, go watch my Texans video from yesterday. But this is very interesting about the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. Are they done? Is this the end? I mean, let's be for real. I mean, say what you want about Stefondiggs. You can say Josh Allen looked better. And shout out to my boy Val. Me and my boy Val were talking about this yesterday and earlier this morning. You can say whatever you want about Stefondiggs. You can say he's a diva. You can say, he's T.O. Randy Moss 2.0 in diva-wise, headache-wise. Odell Beckham headache-wise. But at the same time, Stefondiggs is no less than a top 10 receiver in this league today. And defenses fear him. I mean, let's be for real. When you're on the field with the Bills, whether it's week 1 or week 14, 15, or in the playoffs, you're worried about Stefondiggs. You're worried about him. Even Terrell Owens on his worst day, Randy Moss on his worst day, Odell Beckham back in his prime on his worst day, Julio Jones, even on their worst days, you feared them. Stefondiggs is in that category where he's a top 10 receiver, and even on his worst day or days, you still fear him. You can't leave that guy open. He's still going to torch you. Now, I believe he was sabotaging purposely to get out of Buffalo, but, it is what it is. But defensive coordinators are like, listen, we know he didn't play good last Sunday, but we're not going to take the risk of him being open and cooking us this Sunday. So say what you want. Diggs takes a lot of attention from the safeties, from the cornerbacks, and from defensive coordinators. Now, with that gone, that really puts the Bills in a tough, hard place because who are you going to replace him with? Now, me and my boy Val, we were talking and we said, Justin Jefferson. I suggested Justin Jefferson. He said that wouldn't be a bad move. And I also said T. Higgins too, since T. Higgins wants out. The Bengals franchise tagged him. Now, I don't know if the Bengals will trade him. They most likely will because he's demanding the trade. And they probably think, well, we got Jamar Chase, so we can put whatever second receiver behind him and we'll be good. But T. Higgins is available. But he brought up the good point that the Bills really have nothing to trade. I mean, they're low in the draft this year, and they traded some of the draft capital for next year. What are they going to trade for T. Higgins and Justin Jefferson, who are younger, seem more hungrier than Diggs at this point? So, I mean, he does bring up a good point. Maybe if I'm wrong, I'll do a video, explaining that, both sides of the story there. But I agree. Like, what are the Bills going to do? Now, people are saying, like, this whole video is about, is this the end for the Bills? Here's my question. Have the Bills even started? Like, there has to be a beginning to an end. The beginning of it was you guys couldn't beat Patrick Mahomes, and the end of it was you guys couldn't beat Patrick Mahomes. Like, there's no ifs and buts about it. By the way, shout out to my boy Valley. He's just texting me. He's texting me right now. I'll get to you. I'm about to get to you out of this video, Valley. But that's where the story ends. I mean, listen, I get it. You guys had multiple chances to beat Patrick Mahomes. You had multiple chances to beat Joe Burrow, but it didn't happen. And with this Stefondiggs thing, like, I don't know where the Bills go from here. Who's going to trade down from you guys? You really think the Chargers or the Cardinals or even, like, I don't even know, a team that really needs a weapon are going to pass on Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison, or roam the doomsday? I mean, maybe take a chance on Keon Coleman. I mean, I love Keon Coleman. Shout out to Florida State. But he's not going to replace Diggs. The only person in this draft who has a chance, the only person who has a chance to replace Diggs, and it's most likely a guarantee, is Marvin Harrison Jr. We all know he's a stud. We all know he's going to be a stud, but we all know he's going to the Cardinals. He's going to the Chargers. And if the Vikings trade up with the Patriots or whoever, they're trading up to get a quarterback, so they're not going to take him either. But I mean, I don't know where the Bills go from here. Like, this was the year for the Bills. You had Patrick Mahomes in your stadium, not that much referee interference. And honestly, your defense played lights out. Josh Allen played lights out. I don't know how much better the Bills can get. Also, I also want to bring up this point too. I don't think Sean McDermott is a great defensive coordinator. And me and my boy Valley were talking about this, and he even educated me on this. Sean McDermott is a great defensive coordinator. I don't know if he's a great head coach. I don't know if he's the head coach guy that can take you to the next level, because I'm gonna keep it real. Looking at the AFC right now, I'm not taking him over Andy Reid. I'm not taking him over John Harbaugh. I'm not taking him over Jim Harbaugh now. Now that the Texans have legit weapons, I'm not taking him over D'Amico. I'm not taking him over I think that's really it. I mean, if Doug Peterson can right the ship in Jacksonville and have a healthy Trevor Lawrence, I'm not taking him above Doug Peterson either, especially with a depleted roster. So, is this the end for the Bills? I mean, unless they trade for T. Higgins or Justin Jefferson, and maybe they can get a T. Higgins, but listen, T. Higgins balled out last year, but I've seen these number 2 receivers, when they become the number 1 in the vocal point of an offense, they suck. I've seen it with Juju Smith-Schuster. I've seen it with Curtis Samuel. I can't even think of anybody else off the top of my head. Oh my gosh. Why am I forgetting? You know what? There's going to be Juju and I just forgot the other guy's name too. Juju's the main contributor of this, because people remember when Juju had better numbers than Antonio Brown, and I was saying, listen, Antonio Brown, Juju's good, but he's no Antonio Brown. The reason why he's getting all these numbers is because of Antonio Brown, and when Antonio Brown left, Juju's been mid at best throughout his whole career. That's how I see T. Higgins. But once again, I could be wrong. About that. But at the same time, this could be the end for the Bills, because I'm going to keep it real with you. Texans ain't going. The Texans are an up-and-coming, rising, young team with a great quarterback and a really great head coach. The Chiefs, we all know the Chiefs. Jim Harbaugh, when he gets that ship right in L.A., watch out. If Doug Peterson can right the ship in Jacksonville, you know what I'm saying? Dolphins ain't doing nothing. I mean, I gotta make a Jet video. Because I don't know what to think of the Jets, but just hypothetically speaking, and it's a huge hypothetical. If Aaron Rodgers has a little bit more juice in that tank with that team, and they're signing offensive linemen, I mean, Bills. I mean, and I feel like I'm forgetting so many other teams. I really feel like I'm forgetting so many other teams in the AFC. The Ravens. If Joe Burrow comes back healthy, now if they keep T. Higgins, who else? The Browns. I mean, whatever you want about Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson's mid. That's still a great team. Around him with the head coach of the year. And then we all know Pittsburgh's going to make the playoffs. With a better quarterback. Say what you want about Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. They're better than Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and who's the other bum that they had? Mitchell Trubisky, who's ironically on the Bills right now. I think he's signed with the Bills. I don't know, nor do I care. Anyways, yeah, I mean, this is going to be a huge dogfight. And then going back to the Dolphins, I mean, listen, look, I'm not saying the Dolphins are good. I'm not saying the Dolphins could beat the Bills, but I'm saying this. Those Dolphins-Bills games were very close. Now you're taking away draft picks and Stefondiggs from the Bills. You're going to expect Josh Allen to carry this load? Pause. No Diddy. You're going to really expect them to carry all this? I mean, I get it last year. And I think last year was kind of like an off-script thing. This is a whole brand new NFL with brand new defensive coordinators who are going to focus in on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not blaming all of what happened last year on Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen balled. But I'm talking about right now, this just might be the Bills just being the Bills, man. It is what it is. That's my thoughts. What are yours? What's your thoughts on the Bills' narrative of this? Do you guys think they'll trade for Justin Jefferson or T. Higgins? Or do you guys think somehow, some way they'll trade up and try to get a Harrison Jr. or Malik Neighbors? Or do you think, the Bills are just trying to, clear house? It is what it is. Josh Allen to the Giants. RJ out.